I do want to read one more article, if that's cool with you guys.
I'm chill. Yeah.
All right. So
I should probably have some water soon.
Yeah. All right. Cool. While I'm talking. All right. So since we're on a topic of Dragon Ball and One Piece earlier, I do want to talk about this. See, this from Bounding the Comics. Dragon Ball voice actor Sean Schemmel, which is the guy who does Goku's voice, admits he's not a fan of Netflix's One Piece. Says he's still not convinced anime can be properly translated into live action, and I disagree with that.
I feel like that's fair. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, look, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but as somebody who doesn't know anime, it works for me. But as you guys who do watch anime, I'm going to defer to you.
What about you, Grae? How do you feel?
If it's live action, will never really be as good as the anime, if that's what he's implying. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that the live action cannot be good on its own.
Is this the Freddie Prinze Jr. of fucking anime?
It could be. It could be. Sean Schemmel is one of those people who there's this team called Team 4-Star, and they do Dragon Ball Z parodies, and it's fucking awesome. They make everything that's not canon. They make it lighthearted. They make it funny and serious at the same time. The voice acting is actually pretty damn well done. And someone asked him at a convention, it's like, hey, what are your thoughts about Dragon Ball Z abridged? And then he says he doesn't support them in a way. Like, in a way, he says he doesn't support them. But I'm like, why? It's like, it's a parody, like, so it's like he sort of lost, I sort of lost respect for him just on that point. But it could be a Freddie Prinze Jr. moment. I don't know. But overall, I think there are some stuff that can be turned into anime, that's from anime to live action. I think if it's more simple, like for instance, Grae, there's season 2 of Spy Family is coming out. I think something like that's more grounded and not visual effects heavy. It can be done like a spy thriller, like anime that can be turned into a live action adaptation. I think that's fine. I think a lot of drama stuff has been turned into live action. I think Your Lie in April, I believe it's in live action adaptation now. So I think Dragon Ball Z is going to be pretty hard based off how crazy this show is. Right? I at least that's how I feel. But in terms of what they did with One Piece, I think Sean has some merits in what he's saying, but I think overall it really depends on what the anime is. Right? It's the same thing with can we turn He-Man from cartoon form into a live action? Right? Can we turn Transformers from that? Like
how the fuck are you gonna make Skeletor in live action and make him actually believable? Like, yeah, some of the stuff just doesn't fit,
Yeah.
So I think it really depends on how they do it as well, right? I think Death Note the Japanese one was done pretty well, but the American one just was absolute garbage. I think that one was just really, really fucking bad. Cool, let's read this.
Despite the rare... look who's in the chat. Throw a big one up to Sundowners, my brother.
There it is. Sundowners Club. See, my sons are damn experts on Dragon Ball Z. What up, Xwing?
Good to see you, bro.
Yo.
Well, good for them. That's awesome.
All right. Despite
maybe I'll have them on my channel.
Yeah. Wait, is he does he usually pop up on your channel? Like, does he go live with you?
Sundowners? No, not enough. But to be honest with you, yeah, I need to have him more on my channel. Guy runs a fucking great channel. He is absolutely the kindest soul that I have seen on YouTube. The dude just gives and gives and gives and gives. I love Sundowners.
Nice. All right. Shout out to Sundowners. Goku lives. Yeah. Go ahead and give Sundowners a follow. I'm not sure if I can drop the link. Maybe the mods could. All right. Despite the rare successes of such adaptations as Rurouni Kenshin, Kingdom, and One Piece, Dragon Ball series voice actor Sean Schemmel still believes that it is inherently impossible to accurately translate any given anime production into live action. like I said, I think it really depends on
Wrong.
what it is, right? I think it really depends on what anime it is. Like for like when I first saw
that's a
the trailer,
defeatist attitude.
yeah,
Yeah.
like if you're gonna do like when I first saw the gum stretching thing, I thought that was so cheesy and crappy. But I'm like, that's the anime. It's supposed to be like that, right? And then I
Yeah.
watched it and I was like, okay, I'm wrong. This was actually a lot better than I thought it was gonna be, right? So it's
The
overall
one
it's
I
good.
always look at is like Harry Potter. How the fuck do you take those books and make them in live action? And then I look back to that scene, especially with him dying, the other day. I'm working on a
fuck, man,
video.
yeah.
I'm working on a video for it. But I mean, how do you get Dumbledore in live action fighting fucking Lord Voldemort in the Ministry of Magic? How will
That
you
fight was
ever bring
fucking
that?
godlike.
How do you bring that to live action? And then you go back and you watch it and you see Dumbledore fighting him in the Ministry of Magic and his robes are blowing and you've got all this crazy shit going on. It's like it can be done if you love it enough. It can be done.
Yeah, I think with passion, I think like when I first saw the fight, I think the first fight that I really liked a lot was in Goblet of Fire. I think that's when shit got really real. I think Prisoner of Azkaban is the first one where it's like, okay, things are getting more mature.
Yeah.
But when shit got real was when Voldemort came back.
Yeah.
Right? He was fighting at the cemetery with Tom Riddle, and he is like, pick up your wand, pick it up. We bow to each other, right? And then Avada Kedavra, Expelliarmus, and like, holy shit, like that reminds me of Dragon Ball.
And then he comes out and he tells the rest of Hogwarts, Cedric Diggory was murdered by Lord Voldemort. You're like, oh shit, it's real.
Yep. Yep. And then the Ministry of Magic part is just like when I first saw that, I'm like, okay, it can be done, but like you said, it has to be with love.
Bro,
and people
that was Obi-Wan Kenobi and fucking the Emperor fighting. That was it. Like that was the fucking match of the century. And the spells that I'm sorry, I don't want to take us off track, but
no, you're good.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That was like for a fan pop kid who read the books and seeing that shit come to real life. When you saw Voldemort threw that gigantic snake fire spell and fucking Albus just wraps him up in the water ball and then drops him, and then Voldemort comes out, he's all soaked in water. Like, oh my god, that shit was so sick. Yeah.
All right, Grae, did you watch the Harry Potter movie? Tell me you did.
I did, but I don't remember all the scenes you were saying. I don't remember them.
The fight scenes were so good, though. Dude. The wand battles are so good.
Maybe it
didn't at high level.
It didn't probably didn't strike a chord with me anymore because I watched them so late.
Dude, it was incredible. I was a book reader first, and like they missed a bunch of shit, and Harry wasn't really quite right. Ron wasn't quite right. Hermione was fucking spot on, but just what they did and the way they made you feel about Dumbledore in those books, and like when it came to those later movies, when it came to like Deathly Hallows 1, when it came to Order of the Phoenix, when it came to like Dumbledore's death, and especially the music in those movies, dude, like Christ almighty, man. I was a music major. I'm a cellist, dude. When you listen to the music in those movies, I mean, it was John Williams started it off, but holy shit, man. The music in those movies was just incredible. And I will still die on the post that I am fucking irate that they made Hogwarts Legacy and they didn't put his music in that fucking game. Ooh, it makes me mad.
Yeah. Yeah, like Alan Voss brought it up. Yeah, right here. Remember the time when Phil admitted that he cried about Snape being a cuck bitch? I remember that guy.
He wasn't a cuck bitch, you dick. He loved her. He loved her.
I cried, man. I was like, fuck that. Alan Rickman deserved an Oscar for that performance, dude.
Yeah.
Like he. Anyways.
Always.
Yeah. Let's see. The Sundowner says, I actually like the One Piece live action. Yep. It was good. We loved it. You see, this is great. My kids talk about Dragon Ball all the time. Yeah. All right, let's continue with this. Let's see.
You missed the
Schemmel.
lore breakdown. By the way, go ahead and bring it back. I don't know what it was, like
Where
half
is
an
it?
hour, 45 minutes. Go back. There's a whole lore breakdown for Dragon Ball Z here not too long ago.
Oh man, there's a lot. I'm not sure. Half an hour back?
I don't know.
Let's
We've
see.
been going- you
who are
said
the bugs?
4 hours, and I'm like, that sounds terrible. And we're at 3 hours and 41 minutes. I'm like, damn, this is flying by.
Do you know who said it?
Who said what?
The lore breakdown? Oh,
You!
me. Okay, yeah, sorry. I was like, who wrote it? Who wrote this book? I didn't see it.
It was pertaining to earlier when you were narrating Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Oh man, that
You
was
give me
crazy.
the rundown, man.
we
Yeah, I
might
have
get
a whole-
Xwing to watch Dragon Ball.
I have a
Dragon
whole
Ball Z,
new
at least.
love and respect for it now that I've heard what it actually is. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Schemmel, who is perhaps best known for providing the English voice of Son Goku and King Kai across the various American dubs of Dragon Ball, offered his thoughts on the topic during a recent interview with Bleeding Cool. All right, let's see what he said. Speaking of Hollywood's abysmal track record with live action adaptations, Schemmel told the outlet's Tom Chang, which is a Chinese person probably, it's weird because I've kind of got an I've got an insider view, and I've watched Hollywood try to understand anime my entire career, and they still don't get it. It's not until you see, and I'm not entirely sure the anime genre trends will ever translate well to live action. I'm not entirely convinced. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, well, until you see. So you're telling me that the people who are doing this have not watched the anime? Like, if they haven't, then yeah, get them off the project.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Star Ocean is great visually. There it is. I still need to play a Star Ocean, Grae.
Yeah, but yeah, it's usually that's why I don't really talk about it that much because like, oh, what's that? Oh, I've never heard of it. Oh, I'll play it, but people usually just say that in my opinion. That's why I don't really bring up the niche that I cover. That's the reason why I go more mainstream when it comes to bringing out content here.
Yeah, makes sense. Let's see.
Look at all these members in the chat right now, by the way. I just wanted to say what's up to all the members of this beautiful community who have come to support this incredible channel. God damn, I love you. Look at this, man. How long you been going now?
A little
over a year.
A little over a year.
But
I want to tell you something right now, okay? It took me a year to get to 1,000. It took me a year to get to it, not monetized. It took me a year to get to 1,000. So that shows you just how much love these people have for you and what you do on this channel. You already have members. You got people rolling in with super chats. You guys are doing what you need to do. Man, I'm so proud of you guys.
You know, it's thanks to the the fellowship, geeks and gamers, yourself, especially yourself, Jay. Like Jay is the one who started it all, actually. Like if it wasn't for him, like we would just probably still not be monetized.
It's all a lie. I said, hey, by the way, there's a great channel called Eggroll. You should check him out, but he'll take credit for it all. It's fine. It's fine. That's Jay.
Yeah, what were you saying, Grae?
It was actually Jay.
Yeah, I was saying Jay. It's like it was just the two of us talking, and there was like what two to three people in chat. Then all of a sudden we saw Jay say hi to us, and that's things went.
How many
really
people
fast
do we have watching right now?
About 19 or 20.
Yeah.
19 or 20 people. Yeah. Hit that like button right now and then hit the share button and send it to your grandmother, okay? She's lonely. She's not doing anything right now. Price is Right is off the air. Hit the share button. Hit the like. Give these men everything that they fucking deserve because they're great and loving individuals. And thank you so much for having me on.
Of course, we would love to have you back. And thank you so much for all the support, Xwing. We really appreciate it. And everyone in the chat, thank you. Yeah, we really appreciate it. But it's the fact that like I forgot that it was last month that it was like, oh shit, it's been a year that we've been going on. Yeah, I think it was like August 26th or 27th or something. It was like the year.
And hit that year.
Shit, we forgot.
Mine's in like April or something like that. But this is something I wanted to look at was the Dragon Ball Z live action movie. because I don't know anything about it, but apparently a lot of people were really pissed.
Yeah, I couldn't watch it. Like like the stories that what they did with the characters, and like I saw, like I think this guy's name is Justin Chatwin. I think it's the guy who's playing Goku, and it was just not good. It was like I saw a clip and it was just really bad acting, like terrible lines. Like this character would never do this. The costumes are sort of there, but it doesn't really look accurate. But I'm like, and then you got Chow Yun Fat as Master Roshi. I'm like, what's going on, man? Why you don't get an old bald guy with a beard? It's like it was awful. Like I couldn't stomach it. Maybe I'll watch it for the channel and make a video of me bitching about it. I don't know.
Let's do it. Let's watch it together, and I'll do the like I kind of know what's going on, and you'll do the like fuck that, this is lore breaking. Could be interesting.
Yeah. All right, let's continue. Let's see.
Does he get Sith eyes when you go Saiyan, by the way? Because he has Sith eyes right there.
I don't even know what this is.
He has Sith eyes. Look.
Yeah,
his irises are red. Yeah.
Why is that? Yeah. Let's see.
Coming in my pants. Coming.
He doesn't. I believe he does do the Kamehameha, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it watching it. See, turning to Hollywood's latest take on anime, Netflix's One Piece, Schemmel opined, "I've only watched part of the live action One Piece, and I frankly think it's terrible."
Interesting.
Ooh. Okay, why?
Yeah, maybe he didn't give it the whole run.
Yeah, maybe. The Dragon Ball Z live action movie, Dragon Ball Evolution, was also terrible for a different reason, though. They had switched directors halfway through before they even started production.
That's like boilerplate fucking Hollywood right now, though. That's what they do. They have one director and they're like, shit, we don't like how this is going. Or the guy is like, I'm not fucking directing this movie. And then they bring somebody else in who's a yes man to finish it.
Yep. And the thing is, it's originally I believe it was done by Fox. I think Fox is the one who did it. And at least for the live action. That means that Disney has ownership of a live action Dragon Ball movie. And they're just not doing anything with it. And I'm glad. Please don't.
Color me surprised.
Yeah.
Was there a crossover? Because that's Luffy and Goku, right?
I believe there was some kind of crossover for right here. Goku blocks Luffy's Gomu Gomu Bell attack in Dream 9 Toriko X One Piece X Dragon Ball Z Super Collaboration Special from Toei Animation. Yeah, so I believe there's a
collaboration special. Okay, so I don't know a lot about Dragon Ball Z, but wouldn't Goku fucking body that guy in about negative 0.2 seconds?
Goku would body everyone in that universe.
Yeah, and like
easy.
Zero time.
Like the fact that Goku's even putting up with a fight is because he basically saying, I want to see how strong this guy is. That's all he
and he does not even going Super Saiyan, right? Just like normal human. Yeah. He would just body fucking everyone.
Yeah. He will destroy them. The fact that Goku has a spell that's called instant transmission, he can instantly teleport to anywhere he wants, is completely busted. Like he just teleport right behind you and just like destroy him. Like the only thing that like Goku can't fight against right now is like the gods, actual gods. That's the only thing he can't kill.
Like, so the whole thing with Goku being a Saiyan from the planet is Saiyan, right? Is that he's already Superman, but like to really go like fucking Superman, if he goes Saiyan, like I mean he's bodying the whole planet already, but if he goes Super Saiyan, then he's like bodying solar systems essentially.
Yeah, but so basically, Goku can he can die, like he's not like he's invincible, but he literally has a thing where whatever doesn't kill you literally makes you stronger, and it's called a Zenkai boost. So what in short description, when you seriously get your ass beat into the brink of death, you almost die, but you recover, you get a huge boost to your power level.
Your HP bar like extends a little bit.
Yeah, basically double. Double. Yeah, it's mentioned. I believe it's not mentioned in the anime, but it's mentioned somewhere. I forgot where it was, or maybe Dragon Ball Z lore. So that's why a lot of people are saying that if Krillin was a Super Saiyan, like he was a Saiyan, he would have been a god. is because he dies. He always gets bodied all the time. But yeah.
So I'd be interested to watch this crossover then, because you got this little fucking retard with a a bendy neck trying to fight against basically an Adonis, a god.
Yeah.
Like, how does this make an interesting story? Because eventually Goku gets pissed off enough, he's just like, okay.
No, so here's the thing. Goku was fighting against a bad guy, and they're both like going at it. And after the fight, he's like, all right, I don't want to fight you anymore. I'm done. My son's gonna fight you. And then he's like, what? What the fuck is happening? He's like, yeah, my son's gonna fight you. And he's like, what? What are you doing?
What's Goku's Gohan?
Yeah, Gohan. Yeah.
Gohan. Is
So
that's the one with the short purple hair?
No, that's Trunks.
Trunks, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Gohan's like, okay, I'm gonna fight you now. And then so they have this thing called sensu bean. And a sensu bean is basically like you eat it and you basically recover to max health. Max stamina, max health.
Man, they got the video game shit in the anime.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what happens is that after Goku fought him and they were like at a stalemate, and Cell during this time, he's like super tired. He's like, oh shit, I'm fucking tired. Now I have to fight your son. And he's like, hey, Cell, before you fight my son, catch. Throws him a fucking sensu bean. He's like, what is this? He's like, eat it so you have full strength when you fight my son.
Oh, they're just fucking with him.
So basically, everyone on the team, because during this time, Cell was the strongest enemy they've ever fought. And then everyone's like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, I want this to be a fair match. And it's like, he's trying to kill us.
So fight
like,
my 5-year-old, and here's your steroids.
Yeah, but Gohan can beat him. He's fine. And he's like everyone's like, you're a fucking moron, dude. He's gonna kill us. And then like he beats the shit out of Gohan. And he's like, thinking of you, Goku, thinking of you. And he's like punching him in the face.
Wait, Cell was beating the shit out of Gohan?
Now, during this time, Gohan is like a teenager.
Okay.
But still, he's like 15 at this time, but he's still getting his ass beat.
And that was that little one with the tail, right?
Yeah. Cell's the one with the big green guy with the dots on him.
Yeah. He had like the carapace for the head.
Yeah, because I believe he's a cicada. He's a cicada creature.
He's a cicada? I hate cicadas.
Yeah. Cool. Let's continue. Say, fully aware of this. Did we read this already? Okay. Fully aware of this was the minority opinion. Schemmel explained that his issue with One Piece was not with the production itself, but rather than the live action medium's inability to fully realize an anime's less realistic elements. It's interesting, and I'm not sorry about my opinions. The Yu Yu Hakusho voice actor noted, I feel as a public figure, I feel so nervous about like even saying I don't like the One Piece live action very much. That's not necessarily the crew and cast's fault. They're probably all talented. That's more of the execution in terms of the genre translating. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I agree, but like I don't think they're ever going to try a Dragon Ball live action though. I'm not sure if they can try it again.
I have a really hard time pushing back against that because like this is what I do on the internet. I'm like, these fucking people made an adaptation and it sucks. Like, yeah, I can't say anything bad against them, you know?
Like, do you remember the scene where like Zoro's like, I'm gonna fight you with 3 swords, and then he brings out his tiny knife?
Yeah.
He's like, why do you fight me with your real sword? It's like, you don't hunt rabbit with a cannon.
With a cannon,
And it looks so cheesy when it's fighting, but it works. I'm like, I'm all for this. This is cool. You know, I enjoyed that.
For me, it was just like the belief of, it was a suspension of disbelief for the universe, right? So this is like, damn, the shit don't make any sense in live action. But in an anime, he's like, fuck you, with the little keychain. Like, okay, all right, I get it.
The cool thing is seeing this scene in live action versus the anime, the live action did it a little bit better.
Interesting.
Really? Yeah, it had more impact. Like, of course, like he gets his sword broken, right? Like he breaks his sword.
Zoro gets fucked up.
Yeah, like in the anime, it's just like simple anime slash. They run past each other.
Yeah, and he's defeated.
And then they stop, and then the blood flies out, and then there's the sword breaks. This one had more impact and more weight, and I like that about this. I think this fight was well done. Let's see. Once we see a real bona fide attempt by a high budget studio handling the effects they do in anime, because you also got to reconcile a big part of anime. A big part of the style is the giant eyeballs. Oh, you don't need the fucking giant eyeballs, man. You don't need that shit.
Yeah, you don't.
Which makes a big difference in style. When you're shooting anime, everybody's human beings with normal size eyes, but anime has these giant eyes that have fascinated everyone for decades. It's part of the
They're
style.
overcompensating.
Yeah,
What about, so basically,
just have to be 1-to-1.
yeah, you can't cast any Asians then. Our eyes are fucking small as fuck. You can't cast any Asian people. Well, especially Chinese, because we.
Bro, eyes like that, you gotta cast my wife. She looks
Yeah.
like she's constantly surprised. Just
Ooh. Oh man, let's see. When you're so it's part of the style, and that alone, plus their hair, special effects, and a subject matter can be. So the hair doesn't need to be 1-to-1, but if there are characters that have specific unique hairstyles, you need to make them at least look like you're trying to.
dude,
You know,
like that's a okay. Look, here's the deal. You got fucking fish people, okay? We're complaining about hairstyles, and you got a fucking fish man running around. Like, let's really be honest here. And one of the first things I did after the episode where we got to see what's his name, Arlong.
Yeah, Arlong.
One of the first things I did was go Arlong live action versus anime. And you look at the two of them and you're like, that's not even fucking remotely close. Like, how are you going to make a 10-foot tall, 9-foot wide fucking fish man in live action? And to be honest with you, Arlong was the thing that I liked the least out of all of them. When I looked
I didn't like Arlong that much either.
Yeah, when I looked at the different comparisons, I thought, for me, Zoro and the fucking cook guy are like, I love those guys. Those are like, oh my God, I fucking love those dudes. And Luffy is awesome, not necessarily because of his adaptation, but because of how he acts. But I mean, dude, Zoro and the fucking cook guy were incredible. And then the dude with the braided mustache, what's his name?
I think Zeph, like the
The
Chef
the old
Zeph
guy?
or something. Is that? I forgot his name.
Chef Zeph. I don't
Yeah.
know. Whatever his
Zeke, I
name
think.
is. I
Isn't it Zeke?
fucking love those characters. I love this restaurant. I love like the
Yeah.
idea of it, like the whole premise of this place where pirates go. And it's like, if somebody's hungry, you're gonna feed them. But if you can't pay, you're gonna fucking wash dishes. Like everything about it. I love the whole thing. And then you get this awesome moment with Zoro where he's like, I've been waiting for this moment my entire life. And everybody's like, you're gonna die. And he's like, this is what I have to do. And he gets his ass fucking beat into the ground. I'm like, we're telling stories, kids. Finally, a main character doesn't win a fight immediately. Like, he gets his shit rocked. Thank you. Like, when is the last time you saw a story told in America where the main character gets his shit fucking rocked? Name one. Like, it just doesn't happen. And Zoro, the most badass dude on this crew, gets his shit split open 6 ways from Sunday. And they're like, he's going to fucking die. By the way, he's going to die. And everybody's like, I don't know. Maybe he makes it. And he comes back. I love it.
See, I think that's where it used to be very good. Like, do you remember of course, this ties goes back into Star Wars. The first time that Luke went up against Vader, gets his hand cut off.
Ass beat.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he comes back, and like, we like that hero's journey. We like seeing that. It's because it shows them that they're not, they're not just like the best at everything, which is like a lot of what's coming out, especially with like these Mary Sue characters, like, Rey. So like seeing
he
this,
doesn't just get his hand cut off. He gets thrown down a literal fucking garbage chute. Like, the guy is about to fucking die, and only through the will of the Force and goddamn plot convenience, his sister's like, oh shit, I think he's fucked up. And they come back. Excuse all of my French tonight. Apologies.
No, you're good. You're good.
My last name is
Fine.
Eggroll, so I have a little bit of French in my vocabulary. But they pick him up, and the movie ends, and you're like, these guys got no shot. They have no shot, dude. And this guy is rolling around on the high seas. And at any moment, if he decides he wants to, he'll body the whole crew. He'll body him. And I miss villains like that. I miss villains like that. And so far as I know in the story, he's not really a villain because as the season progresses, what happens. But
yeah, let's continue. So drawing to his thoughts to a close, Schemmel told Chang that ultimately, I see so much stuff going on and it's all mainstream. I still don't feel like Hollywood higher ups are ever going to get it until all these kids who grew up in it gets jobs doing that and start doing that. Yeah, I would say so. I think getting people who are like really, really big fans of this is like, okay, we're gonna be respectful to the source material. If we're gonna do something, we're gonna pay homage to it. We're not gonna fucking spit on the on Tolkien's grave and release the Rings of Power on his his death date. Same thing with like George Lucas. Like we got to make sure that everything does well. But the thing is that the people who are in the industry right now, like I do agree with this last statement that he mentioned. It's we need people who are big fans of it to go into it and continue the legacy of whoever created the whatever medium it is, whatever genre, right?
Yeah.
Like if you have people who go in and they're like, oh, I'm a really, really big fan. I love this stuff. We're gonna make sure that this feels like Star Wars. This feels like whatever movie it is because we want to make sure that we're faithful.
I guess I just haven't really heard yet in the article, like, what's the problem with it? I feel like they're just complaining, but they haven't really listed it.
Yeah.
They're like, can it translate? Will it translate? I don't know. Do I have a problem with it? Maybe, but they haven't really given any examples about why this doesn't translate into live action.
Yeah.
It's just grift.
It's like, it's the rationale that it has to be on par with the anime, which I mean, I think everyone knows it's never going to be. I mean, the goal here is just to bring in new people to get into the anime, hopefully. That's always been the goal for the live action. It's never been too...
I totally get that for sure. But I mean, at least like if I'm going to be pissed about something that happens in Star Wars, I'm going to tell you like, this doesn't line up with this. This would never have happened. This is an issue here. These are the reasons why I'm upset. But this just seems like more of a teenage girl being upset about not saying why they're upset. Hopefully, maybe in the end of this, they tell us why.
Yeah. Let's see. In support of his theory, the voice actor pointed out how, as made clear to him by the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes director Roy Burden? The last season of Picard, the showrunner Terry Matalas was a giant fanboy who ended up growing up around Star Trek or was on the set of The Assistants of Next Gen. Now he's digested it so much that you've got a fantastic last season of Picard. I don't even tell people to watch the first 2 seasons, he recalled. My point about the anime is the same thing. Once you have somebody like that helming something, the test will then finally be, we've got the right person in the slot. So, Xwing or Grae, have you seen the season 3 of Picard?
I'm not a Star Trek guy.
You're not a Star Trek guy because you're a Star Wars guy, right?
Yeah, I'm not a Star Trek guy.
Yeah, I was supposed to, but I never. It's hard to find time.
You know what I'll tell you? Actually, believe it or not, I listened to my parents for Star Trek feedback because they were Next Generation freaks. They loved Next Generation, and they watched 1 and 2. And my dad, out of it, he called me and he was like, "I don't know what the fuck is going on with Star Trek anymore. I'm sick of this shit." And then he watched season 3 and it was like, "Well, they turned the corner. Apparently, I don't know, somebody over there got their head out of their ass and they started making Star Trek." Like, okay, Dad. And he doesn't know a damn thing about Star Wars. He doesn't really give a shit about Star Trek. But I mean, it was woefully apparent that they clearly changed something in the 3rd season, and people were fans. But in the first 2 seasons, I can tell you, my dad was real pissed off. They had basically emasculated your hero and turned him into a wuss. And then in the 3rd season, I don't know what they did because I didn't watch it, but yeah, me too.
Yeah.
They fixed it.
So I'm not a big Trekkie at all. I went in not knowing a lot of the characters. All I know is Jean-Luc Picard and a couple of the other characters like Data and God, I forgot the other characters already. But I I didn't watch season 1 or season 2. The only Star Trek stuff I've watched were the J.J. Abrams stuff.
Oh,
Exactly. I watched season 3. I'm like, this is.
have you ever
fucking
watched
great.
Wrath of Khan? The
No.
movie Wrath. Add that to the list. Wrath of Khan is a fucking great movie.
Yeah.
You'll never look at earwigs the same after watching that one.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm not a Trekkie at all. I don't know this. I always thought that William Shatner was better than Picard. Then I sort of changed my mind after watching season 3. I was like, this is really good, and I was like, they did something that Star Wars should have done, bringing all the characters back in one room.
Yeah.
All of the OGs, bring them all back with one room, and just have that nostalgic feel again. Like, oh man, this is why I loved Star Wars. And they didn't do that with Star Wars, but they did it with season 3 of Picard, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I do agree with this. I think if we have someone who's a big fan of One Piece, whatever did in Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, or something like that, if you have a big fan of it, they need to be the showrunner. They need to be like the person who's like either directing it or whatever, right? With that said, like, only some of the stuff that Dave Filoni that's done for Ahsoka was good. I think, like you said, episode 5 was the only one that was like really, really worth anything.
You talking about Ahsoka?
Mm-hmm. Like
Yeah,
in terms of like
it's
what
still
Filoni did.
it's really not worth anything though. But yeah, to your point, it was because they were rehashing a character that they didn't create,
Yeah.
and every other character, with the exception of Balin. And I'm sorry, I like Shin. I'm gonna catch a lot of shit for that, but I like Shin. I think she's fucking great, and unfortunately, she's really gonna be the only character that we can take out of the show that I have any interest in moving forward with, because Ray Stevenson's gone. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Shin's could be pretty cool, but I'm not sure. Like that, I forgot. I think it was like last
Yeah,
episode
we
where
talked
me and
about
Grae were
last
like,
week. Yeah.
they locked
Yeah.
eyes, Shin and
There's that
Sabine.
tension between her and Sabine.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, they're gonna be fucking, yo, they're gonna be tripping and scissoring each.
Disney.
Yeah. All right, let's finish this. Will this genre translate to live action? The man who was voiced behind Goku for nearly a quarter of a century concluded, "I'm not convinced it will yet, but I could be wrong for sure." It should be noted that despite Schemmel's belief that anime style is impossible to capture in the real world, numerous productions have shown some progress is being made on that front. From the live-action Gintama film, rather successfully recreating protagonist Gintoki Sakta's messy blue hair, to James Cameron's enlarging of the titular heroine's eyes in the 2019 take on Alita Battle Angel, Luffy's use of the Gum Gum abilities in Netflix's One Piece. It's clear that Hollywood has, at the very least, left its days of turning the Kamehameha into an impotent burst of air far behind them. Yeah, I saw.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here's my question. Did you guys see Man of Steel?
Yes.
Yeah. That fight between the Kryptonians and Kal-El, does that not scream Dragon Ball Z if you rethemed it?
Hell
I
yes.
mean, you've got guys right in front of each other, and they and fucking flies 780 feet into a building and it explodes. Like, that's, if I was gonna watch a Dragon Ball Z live action, like, that's pretty much what I would expect. Extremely expensive, oh yeah, but I mean that same kind of combat style, I think that's what I would expect from a Dragon Ball Z live action. Now, I didn't watch the Dragon Ball Z live action movie, and the really hard thing is, how do you make them look believable? So, I always go back to the Joker and Heath Ledger, right? You remember, everybody, when we hear Heath Ledger's going to be the Joker, we're like, fuck that. The pretty boy from Australia? Get the fuck out of here. And then we watch the movie and we're like,
yep.
Just
so good.
Like, just absolutely entranced. So that's where I think it'd be really cool. And I say this about all of my nerd IPs, and I think it's just because of what he did with Batman. You take Christopher Nolan and you tell a Dragon Ball Z story, I'm sorry, it's going to be amazing. It's gonna be
Yeah.
incredible.
I would say
It's gonna be
you have
incredible.
to have the same effect, like the like that's the reason why I know we talked about this last week with Epic Mike. I know a lot of people didn't like Man of Steel because of what they did with Superman's personality and how
Fucking
dark it is.
love that movie.
I
Fucking
actually
love it.
we actually really enjoy it too.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I'm sorry.
But the fight scenes and the choreography and the flying, it felt like you were there. You felt the impact whenever they lock hands, like boom, you feel the shockwave. Like it felt like for the story wise, like it could be different, right? Like for people who don't like it, but the fighting, the flying, it felt fucking good. I'm like,
That
this is
shit
good.
was fucking comic book fighting. You know what? I'm not sorry. That shit was comic book fighting, and I loved every minute of it. And then right up into the point where he's like, damn, I got to make a decision to roast this guy's head or kill a bunch of civilians. Oh, God, I love that. I loved that movie. And to this day, like, it's one of those things I just really don't understand why people hate it so much. 9 times out of 10, I will totally understand if I have a conversation where people are like, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. I totally get it. That is one movie. Man of Steel is one of those movies where, like, that is just in my top 10, like, comic book superhero films. And people just hate it. And I don't get it. I don't get it.
Thanks for checking out this segment of the Project Eggroll podcast. If you like what we do here, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you will know next time when we go live. We do go live every Saturday at 8 p.m. Once again, we are just getting started. Tons of more video to come. Thanks, and we'll see you guys next time.